Welcome back, guys. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and today I'm going to be talking about Garrett Wilson. And I know what you're thinking right now. It's 2024. We're still in the season. Why would you talk about him? Because some news came out this weekend, and I feel like it should be addressed. Before we dive into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. In addition to that, just want to let you guys know that today's sponsor is Via. Need a break from the crowded stores, endless gift lists? Restore your zen and embrace the natural power of hemp this holiday season with Via. This holiday season, unwind, recharge with Via. Whether you're enjoying a quiet evening at home or embracing the festive cheer, Via's premium THC and THC-free gummies will help you find your perfect holiday balance. Via is well-renowned for their award-winning THC and THC-free gummies and vapes, THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops, all crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. And the best part, Via legally ships to nearly all states in the U.S. in discreet packaging directly to your door without a worry to have. No medical card required. So, if you are 21 or older, of course, check out Via's website. The link is in the description. Use my code JKBogan, and you'll get 15% off your purchase. Thank you to Via for sponsoring today's video. Let's dive into it. Very interesting stuff came out this weekend about Garrett Wilson of the New York Jets, who the Rams just saw not that long ago. I was at the game. And Garrett Wilson, now what is being reported is that he would be looking to demand a trade if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for the New York Jets in 2025. Some wild stuff's going on with the Jets organization right now. It's unfortunate. It really is. Obviously, bad owner. This is what happens. But it's very interesting because I think a lot of people assumed Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson had a good connection this year, over 1,000 yards. Arguably, I wouldn't say it's his best season, probably his rookie year, but I mean, he was a lot better, more refined, especially in the blocking game. So why am I talking about this? This is the Rams channel. Well, Garrett Wilson demanding a trade should be talked about because the Rams are going to be at a point where at some point or another, very, very soon, within the next 4 or 5 months, 3 months, 4 or 5, I don't know, 3 months maybe. I think we could say 3. The Rams are going to have to decide on a lot of things. Wide receiver is very interesting because the Rams right now only have Puka Nacua, Jordan Whittington, Xavier Smith, and Cooper Kupp under contract for 2025. Tutu Atwell's a free agent. Demarcus Robinson's a free agent. Tyler Johnson's a free agent. And Cooper Kupp was dangled in trade talks at the beginning of the year. And there is kind of this assumption that as he's slowly declined, at least number-wise, he might have to take a pay cut or they might move on from him. And I think it's really possible that they do move on from him. I also think it's possible he stays. Regardless, the Rams need to look at adding more to the wide receiver room. I'd bring back Tutu Atwell on an affordable deal since they've really killed his stock, not really playing him. But I'll tell you right now, Garrett Wilson, this is like a Jalen Ramsey move, okay? Does this rein in the era? Do you bring back the F them picks? I don't think this is F them picks. I think this is, hey, this player's really freaking good, and he shouldn't be available, but he is because the organization's not very good, and they're not going to retain him in all likelihood. Because I hate to break it to you, they're not moving on from Rodgers. I do think Garrett Wilson will be available. And who knows if this is even repairable, even if they move on from Rodgers. So this is what I would say. The report is out about Garrett Wilson demanding a trade after the season. If you haven't been paying attention, Garrett Wilson, after playing the Rams, gave a lot of praise over to Mike LaFleur, said he really kind of took him for granted and essentially gave him a lot of credit and said that, he really owes him for a really great rookie season. Interesting. He also said he was going to give him a call after the game. Mike LaFleur, of course, is the offensive coordinator for the Rams currently. Now things can change in the offseason. But that would also be another kind of destination spot there for Garrett Wilson. Wilson's 24. He won't be 25 until July. He's had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, 14 touchdowns, 275 receptions with the Jets. And he's the 30th graded run blocker according to PFF. Now, I mentioned Garrett Wilson on Twitter as an option. I think the Rams really need to go balls to the wall and get this thing done when the season ends. And there were people that came back and said, well, he can't block. And that's just not even true. He was 52nd rated in 2023 and 83rd in 2022. He's gotten significantly better each year. Now he's 30th. I think he'd be a lot better with the Rams. I mean, he could get up to the top 15 with Eric Yarber coaching him. So that's something to keep in mind. Wilson's not a big body, huge wide receiver. I mean, he's 6 foot, 183 pounds, built more like Odell Beckham Jr. He ran a 4.38 40 time. He had a 1.53 10-yard split. Didn't have a good short shuttle. Who cares? This guy he's great. He's a great receiver. And when these guys become available, like a Jalen Ramsey, because of, a dysfunctional franchise, you have to take advantage. Because if you don't, who's to say one of your rivals won't? Or just anybody in the NFC, which would be a problem for you since you have to fight those teams off to go to the playoffs and potentially go to the Super Bowl. So what does Wilson bring to the table? Well, he's great after the catch. He's got game-breaking speed, as I mentioned, the 4.3 speed and explosiveness. He's got the most incredible show-stopping ability to make spectacular catches. He had the Odell Beckham Jr., remake catch against the Texans, kind of saved their season. He had the crazy catch, 3 years, his rookie year against the Bills. He had the craziest catch to essentially, I think that took that to overtime. Unbelievable. Juggled, batted away by Tre'Davious White, and he stuck with it and made a crazy catch. He's made multiple of those. It'd be funny having him and Puka Nacua, guys that just make these highlight reel catches. Very young receiver that can do it all. He fits the Stafford window and beyond. I think that's an important distinction here. I mentioned Puka Nacua. He and Puka Nacua would be the best duo in football. Anybody that wants to act like Nacua isn't an elite receiver, isn't top 5 right now, I don't know what's happening right now. With Garrett Wilson, you have to understand, he caught passes from an over-the-hill Aaron Rodgers, from Zach Wilson, who hasn't even played a game this year, Joe Flacco, and Mike White. I mean, Chris Streveler as well. Like, those are the guys that were throwing him the football. Matthew Stafford would be leaps and bounds what he has seen. He would easily have his best season of his career with the Rams. I think he'd fit Sean McVay's offense like a glove. He'd provide speed, explosiveness, separation, which is something that I think the Rams are lacking right now because they don't play the guys that are good at it, Jordan Whittington and Tutu Atwell. But I just think sometimes you get these opportunities that just jump. They just jump into your lap. This is no different. You have to do this. If he is available this offseason, this to me is a better pickup than paying. And keep in mind, you would have to pay Garrett Wilson soon. But T. Higgins, who I really like and I think would be a great fit, my concern is Higgins is always hurt. Garrett Wilson has not missed a game. Garrett Wilson has played with inferior talent at quarterback and has gone for 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He fits the Rams' timeline with Stafford. So you talk about him going into his 4th and final year and then a 5th-year option, which would obviously be picked up. You get 2 years of control with Garrett Wilson before you'd have to pay him. In addition to that, you obviously are going to pay Puka Nacua. Now the heir to the Stafford throne is going to be throwing to arguably the best duo of wide receivers in the league, as long as you take care of business. So now you have Garrett Wilson and you have Puka Nacua. You have Sean McVay's ability to call plays. And whoever that rookie quarterback is, or maybe not rookie quarterback, is going to get to throw to those guys. So you have to love it from multiple avenues because it can help here and now and it can help beyond. And they're both young, and it would just be a perfect fit. Again, 2 years of control. That last year, would be 2026 with the 5th-year option, and then he'd be a free agent after that season. You don't let him go, right? Again, incredible route runner, natural hands, blocker, yards after the catch extraordinaire. He does everything that you could ask, from a wide receiver standpoint. So to me, this video doesn't have to be super long to let you guys know that Garrett Wilson shouldn't only happen, isn't just a fit. He is a perfect fit. And this is how teams get better. This is how smart teams get better. I think the Rams will pursue this. If this becomes an option, I understand. I'm full aware, they just drafted who should be the defensive rookie of the year, just staying at 19 overall. They're going to be picking a lot, lower, I think, or higher, depending on how you want to look at it, because I think they're going to have a playoff run here. Obviously, I've had them go to the Super Bowl. But that's the thing, is that it might cost more than a first rounder, and I'm willing to do that. I think he's worth every penny. I understand trading away the second round pick, for Braden Fisk to move up. That's been worth it. That might deter you from wanting to give up a first round pick and saying essentially F them picks because you wouldn't have a pick until the 3rd round. But I would just say this. They are ahead of the 8 ball where they could do this. They hit on guys that weren't even drafted. Omar Spades, Jalen McCullough. These are guys that weren't even drafted that they hit on. Late in the draft, they go out and they get Bo Limmer, Whittington, right? That's the thing. They really are in good shape right now. They can afford to do this. I think this puts them over the edge. And say what you will, as great as Cooper Kupp has been, Kupp has never in his career been the athlete that Garrett Wilson is. So if you added that to your offense, you haven't seen that consistency with that athleticism since arguably Brandon Cooks, and maybe ever, because he's crazy. He does it all. So we'll see what happens, but I would really expect the Rams to be players in this. They were tied with Rome Odunze in the draft. They met with him at the Combine. They wanted Brock Bowers. They tried to trade up for him. They were interested in Mike Evans. That was obviously put out there during the offseason. So clearly they were trying to upgrade, and the only guy that they added was Jordan Whittington. Now, I'm very high on Whittington, and I think that he would be the 3rd receiver in that group if you added Wilson, and then probably would be the end of, Kupp in the starting role, right? He would probably have to take a pay cut, and maybe he'd be the 3rd receiver, and Whittington would kind of go back and forth with him. But this brings on the next era of Rams football. This is having Garrett Wilson and Puka Nacua, prime time superstars, some of the best, receivers in the league, and Stafford would have him for 2 years, and then you'd move him on, maybe even 3 years, and then you'd move him on to the next quarterback. I just think that works out very well. So again, we're going to see how things go. And obviously I'm focused on this week and the playoffs and all of that. And, we'll have that content on this channel, but I think it'd be a disservice not to talk about this, not bring it to your attention, because I think it's possible. And again, I understand you give up draft capital for, Braden Fisk, and the 1st round, 2nd round picks worked out very well, and you might not want to do this model again, but this isn't doing the F them picks model again. This is getting a player that should not be available, and he is, because they're not a great franchise. They're run poorly. It's the same thing with Jalen Ramsey. It's how Dante Fowler Jr. became available, and I'm not saying Dante Fowler Jr. is on the same level as these guys, but this is how you're able to acquire that talent. It's really that simple. So those are my thoughts. I'm curious what you guys think. I know it sounds weird. We're not even in the playoffs yet. Like the Rams already clinched, but we haven't even finished the season. And I'm already talking about acquiring somebody. But this stuff is going to come by quick. Don't forget, this is a March thing. Okay, this is an April thing. This is a May thing. I mean, free agency comes around. And like I said, I really like T. Higgins, but those injuries, as opposed to a guy that's never missed a game, I don't know. A guy that has familiarity with the current offensive coordinator in Mike LaFleur, I don't know. But I'll tell you right now, if Mike LaFleur stays around, Rams are going to be serious players for Garrett Wilson. There is no question about it in my mind, as they should be. So, in conclusion, I think it would probably take a first and a third, maybe the following year, because you don't want to give up your first 3 rounds. But you could probably argue maybe even a second round pick the following year and a first round pick this year. He'd be worth it, man. It wouldn't. I would not mind drafting Garrett Wilson. I can tell you that much. So that's going to do it for me. Really curious what you guys think about this. I just think he's a perfect fit. Him and Nacua would just be insane. But let me know in the comments section below. Do you think that Garrett Wilson is worth it? Do you think he's not? Do you hold it against him that in his rookie deal he is on the brink of demanding a trade? Do you understand him? Like, to me, I don't hold it against him. I think the Jets are kind of a mess right now. DJ Reed came out and said, look, I'm ready for free agency. I mean, that says a lot. So, you know, it is what it is, but we're going to find out. So, obviously, not a lot of content like this is going to be coming out until the season is over, but this was just recently put out there in the ether, and I felt like I should address it from a Rams perspective. So hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Be sure to check out today's sponsor, Via. Get 15% off your purchase using my code JKBogan. And also don't forget, if you haven't already, to sign up and subscribe to my new channel, The Lounge with Jake Ellenbogen, where I interview artists, musicians, entrepreneurs, athletes, actors, all sorts of people. I'm really excited about the venture, almost at 500 subscribers. So if you want to help me out there, you can do that. That link is in the description below. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Later, folks. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.